All right, what's up, everybody? Let's do a quick mic check. Taisha, if you hear me, if my mod's in the room and you can hear me, let me know in the chat. It's so good to be back talking about all this good, juicy stuff in the collective because Lord knows we need it. What's up, everybody? I'm doing a quick sound check here. Make sure y'all can hear me. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, we good. We good. What's up? Yoga, yoga. Thank you. All right. Shout out to the D in the house. Y'all can hear me pretty good. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Muhammad. Yes, honey. Yes. I'm so glad to be talking about this topic because I've been secretly watching this show. Some of it's a mess, but it's relevant as all hell for us right now. Shout out to everybody joining me. I'm doing a different broadcast. You know, earlier I had a nice late night broadcast a few days back. If you didn't get a chance to check that one out, please do. That was really, really good. So yeah, I'm back doing another podcast format for you guys because it's so much that I do want to share. It's an interesting time right now. Dang, it's a lot going on. Our world different, and I mean, people talk about it from the economic standpoint, like it's hard out here. But I don't know. That's kind of the time I like to talk about the realest stuff because when life gets real, it make you real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm loving where we are right now in the collective. The name of this is Pushing Poly. And let's see if this family structure is something that we should even talk about. I've seen this show, but before I get into that, I do want to give a disclaimer to everybody listening. Listen, listen. I am not looking for sister wives. I'm not looking for sister wives. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not currently recruiting, as they say. The womb school village is not currently recruiting sister wives. That's not our, you know what I mean? Like that is not our mission. That's not our motive. Nope, 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 nope. However, I do think that we should be in a position as a collective to talk about a real ancestral family structure without being ashamed of it. If we've gotten to the point where we can watch the brat and the alphabet mafia do what they want to do, you know, we see in same-sex marriages, we see in Pride Month, we see in all types of rainbows and the foods we eat and the shows we watch. We have been forced to just take on and normalize same-sex marriage. And I'm being balanced and healthy with this. And I made a post about this on my Facebook page a long time ago. I was like, it's funny that we have accepted same sex marriage, but still look at people like they crazy when they talk about sister wives or polygamy. I just feel like we should have just as much acceptance, tolerance, grace, patience, and room and space on the topic as we did, or even we didn't even start that topic with same sex. Well, we got pushed into it and we okay with it. We watching everybody get married, the brat getting married. But when you start talking about sister wives and marrying into a family, now people start looking at you like you got two heads. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we need to go ahead and just make this okay to have a real conversation. But I had to give a disclaimer because I know Black women already start getting in their feelings. I'm not looking for sister wives, and the womb school is not about that. The womb school is for Black women that want an African centered curriculum to help us practice what we practiced before Christianity, before slavery, and to actually help us as a unit and to be cooperative with our endeavors and to even help our sisters learn how do we reverse disease and sickness? How do we become healers again? How do we begin to become the healers in our homes? That's our original role as women, is to become healers. Before we start talking about Black girl magic, Let's talk about the magic of healing our families with herbs and knowing how to keep us alive. So that's what the womb school is about. So let's not get any of that twisted, because when we start talking about sister wives and we start talking about polygamy and polyamory and all of this, the triggers are very real. And as I said on my Instagram post, I said it's a trigger warning with this conversation. So I want to talk about the origins of it and talk about why I like this show and what I like about the show. If you guys haven't watched this show before, this is a couple that obviously you can see that it's two women here. But what I did like about the two women, if you haven't watched Seeking Sister Wives on TLC, definitely get into it. But what I did like was they have a scenario that would have probably been ugly, a cheating scenario that probably would have been ugly, that turned into something different. Now, I talked about the cheating in my book, an intro to breaking soul ties and womb cleansing, and it's an actual excerpt I'm going to read for you guys. But what I mentioned around cheating is that a lot of people get pushed into talking about polygamy because of cheating or because of the infidelity on one or two parties' parts, the man's part. But what I have seen in this analysis is that this scenario here that they have, and they have the sister wives and they bring the other woman in, it's a lot better than the unhealthy, toxic mess that I'm seeing online with, baby mamas and girlfriends outing their lover, being violent, doing all kind of crazy stuff, going to jail because jealousy is just that serious. That for me is something that we need to stop. So when I see healthier situations like this kind of bloom and blossom in the collective, I think that, hey, maybe there is hope, because you may not like it, but I think that when we start looking at this as opposed of being in a uproar and fighting and dragging women down steps and making men go to jail because you pissed off about what you found in his phone. Like, it's time for us to stop that, okay? Scheherazade Ali talked about this long time ago, and we were not ready to hear it. Black men were never historically monogamous, and let that sink in. And this is not anything to try to trigger my sisters too much today, but we have to look at human nature right now. And I talk about this in the book as well. We're animals. The laws of society is something else, but the laws of nature are going to ultimately win. But I believe that men and women, we should have had a choice, okay, between monogamy and polygamy, just to kind of put that out there. But this is where we are. If we have not gotten the nature of men and what is in the nature of a lot of men, we probably will find ourselves in this scenario over and over again, toxic version of it, because it's not that we're saying that all men cheat and all men are wired to be with more than one woman. But Scheherazade Ali, as well as she's mentioned in the Bible, no man, a lot of men were not historically monogamous, and that's Judeo-Christian. It wasn't African, okay? And I also think there were many family structures. Many family structures. It's not a think, there just were, and we had the option of monogamy and polygamy, okay? So I just really wanted to give my take on that, because some people really don't know. All right. And I know from a traditional perspective, we have to open up this conversation so that people don't say it's wrong, because we have made it okay for the alphabet mafia to come in here and make a whole new standard. And we are looking at our ancestral family structures as if it's something wrong for it. Now, what they didn't want originally was for us to have big Black families. And we're in the day of Roe versus Wade. We're in the age of one and done, as I talked about already. One thing we do know for sure is that eugenics and Margaret Sanger did not want all of these families. We did not. We make them nervous when we get big families. Do you hear me? This messes up the plan of eugenics and Margaret Sanger. And moreover, they want Black sexual confusion. They don't want all of this Black masculinity. They don't want us to have these big families. That means that we have a lot of heterosexual sex. And you already know they're trying to just phase that on out in front of your eyes. That's what that smells like to me. And again, my disclaimer earlier, I'm not looking for sister wives, but I'm a person that's got my eyes wide open. You have to understand the plan of eugenics to know what the blueprint is that they want to dismantle. What was the blueprint of our ancestors? It's certainly not the mess that we got going on right now. It's time for something to look different. Look at these people on the screen right here. Ain't nobody busting in nobody's phone, breaking in nobody's phone, breaking in nobody's house, cussing nobody out. This is the look of people that probably are going to start to breed and bring up a new generation of some individuals that probably won't go crazy at the sight of another woman that they man look at. To me, this looks like hope for me. 2 black women and a black man in the middle. I know that's making eugenicists. I know that Margaret Sanger is rolling in her grave right now. If you understand the impact that it has to even have more than 5 black children, you will see why it was necessary to pit us against each other and take this family structure away from us. And let me tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen. This polygamy and even talking about different family structures, it did not have this background of sexuality. That is not, I mean, I can't stress that enough. And I go into detail about this in chapter 3 in ancestral intimacy. But I talked about this and I said that there is I'm going to read this really quick. There's a very noticeable paradigm shift in the collective. The African is reawakened and discovering who they really are. For many, this can even be a painful process. Now, real revolution is quiet, and millions of our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora are actively looking for like-minded people trying to rebuild Black Wall Street, create strong families, and come up. In their hearts, they are seeking a productive village scenario, but end up at unofficial swingers parties with a bunch of broke hoteps getting wasted. And that's not nation building, that's just dusty. Now, Black people love talking about village until it's time to really become a village. And a new Black society is being created, and we're doing our part to bring this into fruition with a specific caliber of Black intellectuals, ushering a new world. And it's time to go back to the blueprint in life, love, and business given to us by our ancestors. Now, I said all that, and I read that from chapter 3. This is under infidelity, husband sharing, village, and polygamy. That's the section on that. But I read that because this is where we are. We're not here trying to talk about swingers parties. This is not about sexuality. This is about nation building. If you let the eugenicists, if you let the dominant society create and set the tone for your relationships as they have, they will keep you in this gender war. They'll keep the slave woman pit against the slave man, going around and around in the circles, have the women pit against each other with jealousy, when really it's about the women coming up and having sisterhood. Now, if you really had sisterhood, and the basis of husband sharing is from a very pure standpoint, and there's another section in here in the situation of divorce and in a widow. If I have a single sister, I have a sister that I know doesn't have a man covering her, and I have a man covering me. If I really love my sister, and y'all say y'all love y'all sisters, wouldn't you make sure she gets a man to cover her? Not sexually, but just far as resources and all of that. When you're thinking in your African mind, you start thinking like that. And we're going to have to start having a whole new generation and a whole new breed of women that's talking the way I'm talking, because this is where we came from. It's not enough to just wrap your head and get the fabrics and go on the trips to Africa and all that kind of stuff. We're at a point, and y'all want to talk about the economy. Let's talk about the economy and how much more stronger as an economy we would be if we weren't trying to take something away from the next sister. If you really had love in your heart, you would see how you bring together what you and your man doing with your good girlfriend, you know, is trying to build something. Why don't y'all all build it together? I know we so far from that, and y'all relationships are so fake. Y'all don't have a sisterhood y'all think y'all have. I'm just saying we need to start reevaluating these conversations. That's all. That's all. I'm not trying to insult anybody right now, but I'm saying if we really trying to look at this, it's not enough to just holler about, oh, the economy. No, I actually think the ancestors are forcing us to become back together, to be cooperative. As I said, it's y'all like to talk about village until it's time to be a village. Jealousy is a sin, and we all must rebuke it. Have you not seen enough viral videos of us fussing and arguing over other women, the jealousy, you can't even bring another woman in to build with her. That's why I think that it's all a lie. I think the sisterhood is sick and we've been fake for a long time, sis. So that's why I have a lot of respect for these two black women on the screen. That's some sisterhood. They got some sisterhood between them. I mean, that is evolution. That's some evolution. And this is not to, you know what? It's funny because I have to keep saying this is not to try to make the black man, a cat dad and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, that shouldn't trigger you. That shouldn't. Black masculinity and black sexuality and black men impregnating many women, that never should have been a bad thing. I know y'all are going to be tired of me today. Y'all about to be tired of me today, honey, talking about the black man and his sexuality needing to be freed. No, we should have all had an option to be monogamous or polygamous. And the fact of the matter is that we all kind of fall somewhere in between. If that weren't the case, Maury wouldn't exist. Apparently, women have the same proclivity to have a lot of men shoot seed up in her, and men have the proclivity to want to spread their seed amongst many women. So everybody has that, they have that trait because that's just being a part of being a mammal and you're a human being. So, and that's something else I talked about in the book, because so we've been taken away from that school of thought. It's bad for us to even start exploring it, but it's okay for us to be ratchet and go to jail and shoot and murder and kill and do all these crazy, insane, toxic things in the name of love and monogamy. And I'm seeing that the monogamous Judeo-Christian structure that we have once known for forever and ever and ever and decades is starting to break down, and it's no longer working. We're looking for something else. We're looking for something else. That's what I said too. You saying, isn't it beautiful to see two balanced women who can help each other and bring up children? I know many of our sisters are already in polygamy with all these multiple babies. Now, if you don't preach today, this is just us putting it all the way out there. This is the balanced, healthy version of this. It's the balanced, healthy version of this. I have people reach out to me all the time. And it was even more so when I was in Africa. I had people after I made the first polygamy video, because I talked about how polygamy and polyamory and all of those structures, they're okay in certain parts of West Africa. So if you go to West Africa, you can't come over there with those westernized beliefs, and you can, but it's not good to when it comes to their structure, because it's okay for them to practice polygamy. All right. And again, if you're okay with same-sex marriage, you've ever watched anything on TV that had LGBT and the alphabet mafia and all of that, you're already signed on, and it's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. But it's time for us to start seeing different family structures, very different family structures. And I'm here for the women that want to have that conversation, because it's a lot of us that want to just start making sense. It doesn't have to be some scorn R&B love where Shirley is calling up Barbara and talking about all of this as we lay, Shirley Murdoch. We should have counted up the cost, but instead we got lost in the second, in the minute. I don't know why that song, and that's what we have in our mind. I sang that in the other video. In the hour, hey, as we lay, we forget about tomorrow as we lay. Now, girl, did I hit it? Okay, I tried that time, but listen, we got that in our spirit over these love relationships. You got that in your spirit, and you think that it's got to be all like that. And calling some woman talking about the man you see, the clothes he wear and the food he eat, I bought it. Okay, woman to woman, if you ever been in love, you hit the same. What did you say? How I feel, woman to woman, girl, we got to get that out of our spirit. We got to get it out of our spirit. And you know what? It's so much more to Black love than that. What you say? Girl, Jasmine, it was long overdue. We can't even see our man in a room with another woman with our spirit being, oh Lord, our spirit just bothered. We gonna have to have. I done turned 40 on y'all. I was already talking about this long ago at 34. But baby, it's really making sense now. This nation building. It says if we got on this conversation, if we got on the conversation and really, really start working on our relationship and not this jealousy, you would start seeing the very pure fundamental nature of husband sharing, of village, of what nation building is really about. They want Black sexual confusion. Okay. They really do. And if you don't have a structure, a sound mind, a sound spiritual structure, and that will back you and that will even support you in this type of lifestyle, in the context, cultural context, to support you in this lifestyle, it's not even worth it. I wouldn't even do this in America. That's why I love Africa so much, y'all. I don't see how y'all practice polygamy in America. I do, because it's in us to want to. And I really respect and admire the people that can have some semblance of a polygamous and positive one at that. Okay. Because it's a lot of us here are not programmed for this type of behavior. A lot of our men and women are just off. We need a lot of help. We need a lot of therapy. It's a lot of emotional trauma that we're still dealing with. And we have a lot of mental illness, a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the Black community. So when you have all those variables, you want to go to a structure or even a system and environment that has a lot healthier of individuals. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I really appreciate that too. For women that are really just starting to become mature about this. We ain't arguing with the Black man and his nature no more. We can't do that no more, sis. And I already said we need to revisit this poly conversation to where we've evolved as well. Maury Povich has shown you that women have a nature to want seed up in her from many men. Let me say that again. The conversation and argument that I hear about men's biology to want to spread his seed, and he wants to spread his seed, and a woman can only carry one per year, and all this type. Girl, have you watched Maury? That don't have anything to do with anything. That just says that we both have the nature to want to spread it low and wide, honey. That means we both animals. If that weren't true, Maury would not be the case. So yes, that means that men and women have both been born with natural traits of polygamy and monogamy. There are people that only want one person. Listen, there is. I get it. There is. Everybody's not wired to be polygamous at all. Okay, you don't have to look at your man and be like, you secretly want that? You want what she talking about? No, that ain't every man. That ain't every man. That is not every man, sis. Okay, but there is so many people that, and men, especially Black men, y'all can't even be empowered to have this conversation. Y'all got to go listen to this conversation. You can't share this with the girl you're talking to right now because you have been scared away. You can't talk about this. You're scared away. You can't talk about this with the average Black woman. I know I can't. Everybody think that I'm trying to recruit them and all this type of thing. And girl, and let me tell you something else. When it comes to this conversation, bisexuality is not a prerequisite to being a sister wife. Because, girl, no ma'am. They got this one show, Seeking Sister Wife. Well, this show here, they got the Mayo couple, honey, with the Black dude in the middle, and they be sleeping in the same bed and all that. See, no, you don't have to be on that type of stuff. No. Bisexuality does not have to come with nation building. That right there is some other stuff. And that for me kind of that adulterates it. That's not what it's about. Y'all, that's what y'all miss me with that. Come on now. Oh Lord. Don't nobody. Girl, I don't need you. Look, when you're not supposed to even live in the same house. Brothers, if you thinking about bringing this idea to the chick you with, look, you're not supposed to. It just bothered my spirit so much because I'm so straight. It is no sense of bisexual. Let's just say if I did it, right? And my sister wife that I've chosen, she my home girl. We're going to shop afterwards, okay? We can even talk about it and talk about how good it was or whatever. We going to Yoni steam together. But girl, I do not need to be in the same room while you are doing what you're doing, honey, with our husband. Okay. That is not it. Okay. That is not what we're here to do. Okay. That bisexuality, girl, I wish I would be down eating somebody's snatch. Girl, talking about some polygamy. Oh, let me get some water. That just that bothered my spirit. I can't do that. You don't have to be bisexual to be, a sister wife, sis. Okay, so that is not us. That is not of God, honey. Okay, I'm just playing, but no, that is not of our ancestors, honey. That is not what they was trying to do. So you can do that. But what I did like about one episode was these sister wives came together. They came together because they're looking at a third wife right now. Girl, they came together and helped him set up a beautiful picnic for this other lady. Girl, that for me was a moment. And the picnic was beautiful, y'all. They helping him court. They're all courting another woman. Oh, girl, that was so beautiful to me. And these black sisters are beautiful too, child. I just see, co-wash day, Talia Waji hair products, girl, shake coconut oil, god doggone. Girl, I don't see anything wrong with these sisters, honey. They have won for me. Let's give them a round of applause. This, I can take this than seeing women bash men's glass out of their car because they mad that he talking to another woman or think he talking to another woman. God forbid if he really does sleep with another woman. I'd rather see these women come and work it out and stuff and usher us into a new society than the ratchet society of us that's dragging each other by the weave because we trying to make a point and say, you can't have my baby daddy, this mine and all this. I don't look, y'all. I ain't got all the answers, but some of these people have figured it out here. All of us ain't stressed out by these men. Some of us have really figured this thing out. And let me tell you something. And nothing's perfect. But guess what? Look at how you working through it, though. They have more of a healthy mindset to work through it. We done went through the jealousy, went through the monogamy. We know that ain't for us. That's where they are. So I ain't even mad at these people. I'm not hating on it. But I will double down and say this. It is not about sexuality. Poly, this is about nation building. This is what scared Margaret Sanger. This is what Roe versus Wade. They didn't want the black man to have all these babies. They wanted y'all to be exactly where you are now. Socially awkward, not dating, not knowing how to approach the black man or the black woman, super single. You know what I mean? With our relationships in the trash. Like, this is what they wanted. They wanted us to be this messed up in our family structures. All these men on child support, men in jail because of domestic violence. They wanted our minds to be so messed up around relationships and around just getting along. They knew that the weapon that Dr. Layla Africa was talking about, if you want to find the weapon is the black man, the black woman, healthy in love, procreating. That is the weapon. They didn't want that. They wanted y'all to be on each other's phones, checking phones, fighting outside, going into the system, calling the police, doing all of that. And checkmate for the racist system. They won. There you go. Somebody said, poly is about quality of life. Let's build wealth and freedom. Amen. And look, y'all, speaking of freedom, our trip to Ghana, October 2nd through 16th, we're going to be showing you our self-sustainable farm. We ain't trying to get y'all to live poly with us. Don't be like, I don't want to come on our trip to Ghana because she's trying to get us into this whole, nation building. And no, that ain't it either. That's not it either because we get very nervous. That's why I like to live in freedom. I like living in freedom and I like being able to explore these topics because when you get into different cultural contexts like Africa, ain't nobody tripping on none of that. I'm telling you, when you can be free on your own land, doing your thing. It's a lot of us that have that vision, y'all, and that vision is so realized for so many of us. If you just sitting at home thinking that these are just topics of conversation online, no, there are real people, including myself, that have the ability to live any way we want to live on our land in Africa and do what we want to do. That's why you're here right now, because you need to see that it is possible. It is possible. What you said, I'm totally for building a clan personally, maybe after I'm like 50. Poly is a quality of life they want us to be dysfunctional. I know that's right. And they weaponized Black love. They sure did. They surely did. And if they keep on that, they'll continue to have a generation of children with sexual confusion that have gender reassignment surgeries and all the other things that I mentioned in my book around who will our sons marry? Who will they marry? Who will our daughters marry? If we already have this level of sexual confusion, this type of thing and image that you see on your screen right now, this actually represents Black heterosexuality. This represents Black children, healthy Black families, in my opinion. In my opinion, this represents Black masculinity, in my opinion. What you see on the screen, that's what this represents. And this is very, very scary. This is scary. And so I would just say to the people that are looking at this, I know probably it's, a lot of people are not talking about it in a healthy way. A lot of people have some toxic backdrop. I'd have a real guideline and some questions in the book. Is some real questions and a checklist that you need to ask yourself before you even think about going into an alternative sex lifestyle, poly, swinging, anything like that. Because what we can't do is go into that lifestyle premature, go into it with the wrong mindset, because it's not for sexuality. That is not the basis, and that is not the intention with this. However, when we talk about nation building and building business, it's time for us to get productive, because if we really, really loved our sisters and our brothers the way we said we did, we would really start making it a point to see what they're building, how can we help, because before we lay down, we need to start standing up and being productive and making money and building business and economics with each other first. Okay? First. Yes, you don't even need a nanny or cleaner. Y'all can help each other have a little side business, homeschool. Yeah, you can make it work. A lot of people haven't seen it. And another thing we haven't seen either is making it look good and prosperous, which is why I still like talking about Africa, because there are very wealthy men that, wouldn't mind having a second, third, and fourth wife. I know for me, I experienced a Yoruba man. He wasn't a very, very rich man. I guess he was just, maybe he made about $250K. I don't know. But back in 2010, he had a wife, a baby mama, and he had me. I think I was the good time girl. I was a flight attendant at the time. And I had the best time of my life. He kept groceries in the fridge. He was beautiful. I wasn't like some sex toy or nothing. It was wonder. I mean, all of my needs were met. I gained weight. I ate so much. And I just remember thinking to myself, he told me, listen, baby, a man can have as many women and children as he can afford. And he meant that. And that was real. And it was the most realest thing a man had ever said to me. This was 2010. And at that point, after him, I didn't even think I would date an African-American man ever again. So when it comes to a real life and real men and what you see, like I have a lot of respect for ancestral family structures and what our ancestors used to do, and old school traditional family structures from Africa. Okay, it's not Judeo-Christian based. It's not the same way we do things here. And if you want to look at it, it's a lot more practical. So I'm not actively looking for sister wives. I think I'm actively wanting to normalize this conversation, just like we've normalized the alphabet mafia. We've normalized all of the vernacular of the community. Okay, it's time for us to get cool with talking about husband sharing, as I talked about in chapter 3. Husband sharing has nothing to do with you sharing your man's your man's Johnson throughout the neighborhood, ladies. That's not what it's about. And you don't have to do any of this to be deep. This conversation is not for you. It's not trying to brainwash you or anything like that. But this is about us looking at a different way to live. This is here to stay. People are now talking about this because we know monogamy, Judeo-Christianity, and and policing a black man's sexual nature. Y'all think that's gonna work? How's that working out? I don't think that's gonna work out. I don't think it's working out for either one of us. For either one of us, we're in the middle of a sexual transformation and a sexual awakening in the Black collective. So it's okay for us to just kind of explore this right now. But what I do know is that Black sexual confusion is their first and main priority. But we need to start messing up the plan of eugenicists and those of Margaret Sanger and Roe versus Wade, and start doubling down on what it looks like to build strong Black families, starting to expand what that looks like for us. Is it okay for you to start talking about sister wives? I don't know. That's up to you, but it's okay for you to have the conversation and stop looking down on people that are starting to explore that direction, because the shame is very real for us. We shouldn't be shaming our sisters and our brothers that are really, really starting to look at this and explore this topic. Don't shame them. We need to open up this conversation, okay? We're not going to be talking about this in the womb school. We're not talking about this on the womb school call. We'll have it Monday, 6 p.m. We are having a sister circle. This is a womb school call that we do periodically so that we can address each other's concerns in life, health, business, in our personal life and spirituality. So this is a meetup point so that it can just be radical support for Black women that are like-minded. So if you want to join that womb school Zoom call on Monday, 6 p.m., that's July 18th. But yes, you can reach out to me, artkathy@gmail.com, if you want to join the call. We'd love to have you. And we'd love to have you in the womb school. But just because we're starting to talk about things like this, I don't want to scare our sisters away, because a lot of our sisters have a lot of fear around this topic. And I get it, because we have a lot of sexual trauma as well as people. So we can't separate sexuality from this topic at all when we start talking about a family structure. We see this is a hypersexualized culture, y'all, which is why I get to kind of breathe a little bit when I leave and go to Africa. It's not all this sexual tension, confused. It's just not. No, it's not hypersexualized. I really can breathe a lot better. Twerk culture is not all over the place. When you don't have to see titties and booty all in your face all the time, and in that hypersexualized culture, you won't be thinking about sex as much as you're thinking about it. Okay, so when we start talking about this type of family structure, you won't start thinking about it somebody coming to get your man. We need to come up off that, sis. We really, really have to come up off that, because we're not going to go anywhere with jealousy at the forefront. So I even approach this topic very, very carefully, because Black women tend to get very funny with you. I mean, I would get more acceptance from most Black women if I said I was gay. You know what I mean? But when I start talking about being pro Black man masculinity and Black men not having, not trying to control a Black man's sexual nature, you start to become an enemy to Black women. I'm so serious. I'm very, very serious. Like you start to, start sounding weird to them, and they be like, "What's wrong with you?" Because in their mind, all men are dogs, all men cheat. So if that's your dominant thought about the male species, like, you're already shut down to this conversation. So that's pretty much the majority of most modern women and modern relationship trauma. It's a modern day scorned Black woman, and that's a lot. That makes up a lot of us. That's a lot of us in the collective are scorned Black women. So these conversations, this is going right over a lot of, scorned Black women's heads. But those Black women that are really settled and a lot more centered, a lot more awakened to the truth, a more open, have done some study, and I would even dare say African centered, they're ready for this conversation. They're ready for this conversation. This conversation does not scare them. And I think when it comes to us talking about getting our wealth up and even closing the wealth gap, they already knew it would have been lights out, game over, if we had all these strong Black families with these brilliant Black minds under one roof and one income, so to speak, building all of these businesses. They didn't want that. They didn't want that. That would have been too great for us to start building all of these businesses under the same, all of these brands that we can pop off right? All of these industries that we can dominate together in the structure of a healthy Black family, it would have been lights out. We would have been past that. But my theory is that I've broken it all the way down to the Black man and Black woman, because it starts with the couple. That's where the empire and dynasties come from, y'all. A Black man and Black woman together, that makes a family, and then the families make the community, and the communities make up a nation. That is the way this goes. That's the full breakdown. So once you break down the family, you pretty much broken down the economic structure right along with it. It's a direct correlation. So I'm not gonna roll the red carpet out to the truth too much, but I mean, Dr. Layla Africa and all the master teachers have already said it. But now when we see this in our collective, when we see shows like this, it's telling me that we're on the cusp. We're turning that corner to a new world. We're seeing what's not working for us, and I think it's important for a responsible commentary to come into the mix as well. Now that we're starting to see poly a lot more out here, when you got poly being done wrong and not the right people talking about it, it can get real icky and cringy for me, guys. I don't like everybody talking about poly. I don't even like to call it poly. I don't even like the fact that I'm trending for poly. Somebody tagged me today. I'm trending a lot for that poly conversation I had 2 years ago. I don't even like being known as that, so to speak, because I think it's like we should, like, the labeling of it all. Like, this should be a regular family structure, because I'm not trying to be aligned with everybody in poly, because some of this poly ain't looking right anyway, y'all. It really ain't. For real, for real. All of these poly empires I don't want to be associated, because again, it's that bisexuality, and they be looking so gross, and unofficial swingers parties, and just it's this one couple, they about 400 pounds each, and they all probably, God, I can't. Piercings all in their face. I'm like, that's not, don't associate me with them. I know they saying they poly too, but something about that and me is different. We different, girl, but okay, girl. I see sexual confusion over there with a lot of that stuff. So no, I have to make a distinction. No, we're not talking about sexual confusion. Lord have mercy, no. Our ancestors would be very displeased with a lot of this mess that we have, passing it off, talking about ancestors. No, that's not what our ancestors was doing. Some of this poly mess out here. So it's important to have a righteous, positive versions of poly and people that represent the subject. I am not the poly advocate. I'm not, but I am here to say this is an ancestral family structure that was ours, and it does not need to be perverted or adulterated. Okay. And it does not need to take it, the dominant society doesn't need to get a hold of it and twist it. Okay. So I think this is something beautiful. This is a learning opportunity for us to see that there is a different day of Black male female interaction and relationships. To see two sisters that are healthy and not jealous, that's a game changer for me, guys. I don't know. I don't know about you, but to see Black women this cooperative, and I'll tell you another thing. When I'm around people that are open like this, they have a lot less pressure, right? They not helicoptering their husband and making sure he don't look at nobody else. Like, these women are a little bit more fluid in their femininity. They don't walk around like parole officers with their femininity, which really is they're there to control their husband's desire to only want them. That's really what monogamy means, guys. And I hate to kind of say it like that, but that's what monogamy boils down to for the average woman, is to be a parole officer on her husband's penis and to make sure he's not attracted to anybody else. So I don't know if that sounds logical to you guys, but it sounds like a setup for lies and for somebody to go against their nature, just like a priest taking an oath to be a virgin, child, and to over against sex. That don't make sense. So when you start to cut off and limit and stifle a man's nature, we've always seen that abnormalities always bubble up to the surface, and that's never good. It's never ever good. Okay, so this is the age of the Black man reimagining himself and seeing himself differently, and embracing Black masculinity and embracing real sisterhood, and coming away from toxic relationships and going into cooperative dynasty building. So I even like non-sexual nation building right now, because that's not what it's about. It's not about how much booty you can get. This is non-sexual nation building. I like that Age of Aquarius talk too, honey. Yes, Age of Aquarius is all about humanity. Shout out to all of my zodiac people. I do want to start doing readings again for you guys. If you go to artkathyofficial.com, we break it all the way down. Aquarius represents humanity, community, and also thinking outside of the box. And is, if we're talking about it, you know, it also represents radical movement. If you talk about the planet Uranus, which is what Saturn or even Aquarius is ruled by. Uranus is the electrical planet that is with radical movement. So it's about things that will bring you together, like the channels of connectivity as electrical wires. And so with the Age of Aquarius, it's about coming together and making things move and happen and moving forward with the spirit of unity. It's all embodied in that symbolic story and that archetypal story of Aquarius. So yes, I really appreciate me being able to go through these things and break it down, most definitely. And so Aquarius, for me, I like reading the different signs. Me being a Sagittarius, I'm kind of a sage, and we go deep, deep, deep. But if you want to really start thinking about yourself differently and seeing your skills, your gifts, capabilities, if poly is your proclivity, it's certain people that have a predisposition to monogamy and predisposition to polygamy, and they don't really understand their personality types. Having a natal chart reading is extremely important, and it really set me on the path to understanding what I'm even here to do. So if you want to get a natal chart reading and start to understand yourself on a deeper level and start to have that sacred opening with someone else to see you for who you really are and your gifts and your weaknesses and get solutions, go to artkathyofficial.com. I love doing readings with people. It's a lot more than you would even think. If you've never had a reading before, all I need is your full date of birth. And so you can send that to me and I can give you a very detailed reading as far as who you are, why you do the things that you do, and even what you should be doing with your life to be the most lucky. Especially if you are single, you want companionship. Understanding compatibility is everything. Who works for you, who's most compatible, who's least compatible. It is a science to this thing. And if we're walking around just kind of by default and bumping our heads into life, that means we're not using our sacred science and we're not using the cheat sheet for us. Okay. So yes, I know that's a level of maturity and respect is definitely a must in this lifestyle. You can't come with that old way of thinking. And as I said, that woman to woman, if you ever been in love, you don't have to understand how I feel. Woman to woman. I don't know why that song stay in my head. You don't have to call no other woman up on the phone. Breaking it down on her. And don't y'all know that was stupid anyway? She was paying for this man food and clothes and the car and all of this stuff and telling another woman that she owns him. See, that ain't even what that's not it. That is possession, okay? And this is on page 63. This just made me think about that. It says, your Black union should liberate you to a greater existence without an unhealthy sense of possession and attachment. For African people, and yes, you're African, living in a cheating, obsessed society, hashtag American whorehouse culture, these become the dominant thoughts throughout the collective instead of nation building, which ultimately means you're living out of a place of fear and not love, beloved. Okay. Page 63. Woman to woman. You don't own nobody. You do not own that man. You do not own his penis. You don't own his sexuality. Once we get that up out of our head, once we really return to our African selves and know that this owning and controlling and sense of possession, possession, don't that sound plantation to y'all? That's very European. That ain't us. Our people very free. You know, it's not ancestral. It's just not. Look, it's not y'all. It is just not all of that possession. That sounds like whip master, you belong to me. That's not, that is attachment. Connection is different. So, you can go read books about that and different types of love and the four agreements and all of that. But at the end of the day, we've learned to possess when we love someone. We've learned that love has to come with conditions. We've learned that love needs to look like my man can only be physically attracted to me for the rest of his life. That's what your love has been programmed for you to look like. I don't know how, I don't really know how feasible that is or reality based that is. I'm not sure if it's realistic at all. But I do know that it's a setup for where we are now, and all of these dysfunctional toxic relationships that we have is from a place of monogamy that may not seem to work as well as we thought it did. So if we had the option of polygamy as well as monogamy, I think that we would be a lot different. So I think this is where we are now. We're starting to turn that corner. We're starting to Sankofa, reach back, go back, and bring some of the blueprint that our ancestors had. We're starting to bring that into the collective now. So I appreciate this conversation. I'm happy I'm back too. Thank you so much. And so everybody that wants to be a part of a sisterhood where we can explore this further, you can talk to me one-on-one, have a natal chart reading, go to artcathyofficial.com. Or if you want to be in just an awakened sisterhood of women that know how to take control of their health, their wealth, and even support each other in a real way, we want you to be on the Zoom call this Monday. I'd love to see you guys. It's always good to connect with like-minded sisters because we really do things to lift each other forward. If you have projects, if you have visions and gifts that you want to share, we want you to be a part of this sisterhood. It ain't about making you a sister wife or anything like that. So I have to always remind you of that because unfortunately, this is a conversation that we have to ease into and we have to do it correctly because I do think that there is waiting for us a solution on the other side of this. And I will keep saying these sisters on the screen, they represent evolution and how we communicate with Black men and how we communicate with each other as women. I see them very much getting what they want. And I think that they are even admirable in the way they've challenged themselves and grown past jealousy and grown past a lot of fears, which a lot of people in one-on-one monogamous relationships probably wouldn't even have the emotional maturity or IQ to even do. So if you're even somebody that's in this lifestyle or thinking about it, I commend you for doing it the right way. I've been in situations where hell, the dude want to be poly, but he ain't let you know, private poly child. We're like, oh, I thought you was into it. Yeah, if we talk about it. Okay. So yeah, you definitely want to be in a poly situation or any situation where communication is key and it's out in the open. But that's what I respect about this too. So this is the evolution that we're in the Black love relationship conversation. I'm proud of it. I like it, but it takes more healthy people in this space to bring commentary because if we're going to talk about this, it needs to be more than sexual confusion and it needs to be more than sexuality based because polygamy is not about sex. It is about nation building. So think about it as non-sexual nation building. Get my book for sure. If you want an ebook and I can send you that copy tonight and you can start reading along, send me an email. Or you can go to Art Kathy Official and send a form and say, hey, send me the ebook or whatever. We'll get that to you tonight because it's so much good information here. And I appreciate being able to share with the master teachers and what I've learned, okay, over the years, because I know this right here is the weapon. They didn't want us having big families. They didn't want us procreating like this. And they certainly didn't want us to do it here or in Africa. I like going to Africa for that reason. You get a more healthier context. If you guys want to go with us October the 2nd through 16th, you're free to do so. We're only taking 10 people at a time, though. So if you want to look at the self-sustainable farm videos, check that out. We're going to be sharing more with you. And I just want to say shout out to my brothers that are courageous enough to have this conversation of wanting to build a new life. They see themselves building a new life. You're making those moves to a different country, wherever that is for you. It is possible. It actually is possible. You don't have to worry about the yang yang and the people over here thinking it's crazy. No, it's possible. You can do that. You can absolutely do that. And you'll be surprised at how many women you'll find down for the cause. You don't have to think about who ain't down and you can't get these women. No, you don't have to think about it like that. If you really, really want to connect with some people really doing it, you need to get in the right circles, because I know how it feels when you think that it just can't be done. So it takes conversations first like this, and you need to make the next step to do it. But sitting around cynical, single, frustrated, not knowing what to do with yourself, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. We're not made to do it alone, y'all. And if you haven't seen life with multiple people as a village working together, you're missing out. If you don't have that partner where you can have this conversation with, I would dare say, explore that. See why that's a trigger for you. We need to start being open to having these conversations, okay? But if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it's for a part of you, this is worth opening up that door and exploring that further. You could even do it in the most purest sense of making sure that you're more village with everybody. Are you more jealous and just want your man to just help you in your household? Or, well, I know that's the majority of everybody. That's got they man. They just, he just for me. He just for me. He ain't for you, girl. Okay, with the sisterhood then, but it's not for you. I get it. But for those of you that got their head wrapped up in on some African center stuff and ready to go live a different life and be cooperative with the sisters, honey, with jealousy out of our bones, if you want to rebuke jealousy up out your spirit and like some real women that are evolved to thinking higher on a higher accord of life, y'all, you know what? I think you could even be in my personal circle of friends, because that means everything to me. If this resonated with you, because I've had some beautiful women reach out to me over the years. If this resonated with you, send me a message. artcathy@gmail, because I'd love to, even have you in the womb school too. We want to keep you close, support you, see who you are, because nothing happens by accident. If you heard this message, if you're here, even at the end, I do believe that you're pretty much divinely guided in everything you do. So if this resonated with you, there's a sisterhood of like-minded people and other people, men and women both, Black men and women, that reflect your ideals and what you are seeking to accomplish, because we're not the only ones having this conversation, okay? I appreciate y'all. Once again, go to getthefuckoutofamerica.com. If you want to join our next group trip, we have that October 2nd through 16th. We're only taking 10 if you want to get your teeth fixed. Let me tell y'all something. They are doing veneers over in Ghana for $200, okay? As opposed to $2,500. It's $1,500 to $2,500 per person porcelain veneer here, per tooth. Okay, if you want to get a porcelain veneer in the States, it's around $1,500 to $2,500 per tooth in the US. In Ghana, it is $200. Okay. So that I have really, really become adept in this dental vacation lane. I found the beauty of it in Honduras. Oh my God, the low dental prices, but the good quality work. And then the same for Ghana. We've got dental partners in Kumasi, Ghana, and the prices are just phenomenal, but the work is phenomenal. This is coming from real referrals, and so we know the quality of their work. So it ain't good to go around here ragged mouth. One time I went on a date with a dude, man, listen, his bottom, and I mean, we had a real good connection on the phone. His bottom two teeth were missing. And I swear to God, at the first beginning of the date when we was eating, he was trying to hold his hands in such a way and hold his mouth in such a way as if I wouldn't see he's missing two bottom teeth. Oh my God. Y'all, you can't really be who you want to be and have your swag up and go after who you want to go after and be who you want to be with a bad grill. I promise you, I've seen the transformation in myself and other people. When you get your teeth straight, and taken care of, y'all need to make that a real priority out here. Stop playing yourself. Don't be going up in nobody's face hollering about some doggone sister wife and poly this and poly that, and you ain't even got no darn teeth in your mouth, and your dental work is looking like you can't even take care of you. So how you gonna take care of more than one woman? Girl, no ma'am, we not doing that. Don't play yourself. Y'all better get on this 200 a tooth situation to come to Africa and let your brothers hook you up. I'm telling you, the fastest way to not really get the quality of women and life and experience. Be a black man or black woman with a jacked up grill. See how you walk around life. It's not fun not having a good grill that you're proud of and you can smile comfortably. That will throw off your whole life. You understand me? Your whole quality of life is jacked up now. Girl, I was trying to make videos for years with angles of camera and all that stuff. Man, I was learning what position the sun had to be in, north, south, east, and west, the way that I turned my dog on camera because my grill was a certain type of way. Child, I couldn't even, oh my God, I went through a whole long period of hating my teeth and having to live life constantly thinking about your teeth morning, noon, and night. People thinking you cute, but you know your teeth is a fool. They like, oh, you got such a beautiful smile, but your teeth is raggedy. Oh my God, I ain't even want to give head and open my mouth a certain type of way they had got so bad, okay? Child, goodbye. Y'all better be real about this teeth thing. Y'all sitting up here lying with this jacked up grill and it's making your mouth smell a certain type of way. Okay, perfect the smiles. I ain't dealing with you. Taisha, don't do me today. Girl, be smiling with your eyes. Look, it's brothers out here smiling with their eyes because they can't smile. Brother. I see y'all out here like that brother was going on that date with me. I'm like, you can move your hand, brother. He was talking with his hand. Like, you think I'm not gonna see you don't have two bottom teeth? Oh, girl. Hebrew Israelites. Knock, knock. Hey, if y'all fixing to be talking about this sister wife thing and all of this, and brothers, if y'all finna be in our face talking about building a nation and all of this, y'all listen, can we get a partial or some bridges or some veneers? They doing them for $200, y'all, in Ghana. You ain't even got no. Look, you can go to Honduras, even do the Honduras trip, man. They like 100 something in Honduras. That was the trip we did last year. I can hook you up. That's why you upset online and angry, because you don't like your smile. And you know when we see you and people rolling up on you, you got about $20,000 worth of work that you can't get done right now. But you want to get these sister wives in your house so y'all can get y'all money up. But is she gonna be able to look past your grill? Is she? Oh, y'all. Look, I'm gonna just worry about my mouth. I already know when you have teeth that need to be pulled, and you got stuff that stuff like that. Listen, they get the stanking, and if you 420 friendly like me, you really gotta get serious about your oral health. No more grills covering yuck mouths, girl. Okay, we can't do that. We don't want to do any of that. Everybody needs to have their teeth on point. Look at these people on the screen. See, her teeth look nice. His teeth look nice. If we finna look at poly, let's look at the people that's, what a poly looks profitable and positive. But I remember on one show, it was the real estate show, and they had showed the one girl talking about she went to a poly get together in the park or something. And honey, that poly party she went to was not poly, and it was looking like everybody was in a Section 8 house. And ooh, girl, ooh, honey, no ma'am, it was slick, greasy wigs, synthetic wigs with humps in the top. Oh no, ooh, that poly party had me scary. Ooh, scared. No, but we wanted to look good, okay? So everybody that's and then the people that be by poly, they be looking a fool. So anyway, y'all, if you buy poly and you really handsome, I did have a couple that was looking at another wife. They was fine. I was like, oh, my husband was looking good. Girl, Gladys, you remember that? Globally Black, do you remember that husband and wife that had reached out to me? Girl, I was Girl, both of them was fine. Oh, wait. I couldn't find them nobody. I couldn't find them nobody. Gladys, do you remember that? Globally Black? Girl, that man was fine. I was like, what? And the thing that got me was the wife said, I'm willing to step back for a certain amount of time and let them get to know each other and let him build his bond with the other woman. Girl, I was like, see, that right there, baby, I was like, ma'am, we can be friends. I had so much respect for her. Do you know how much resolve and grace and maturity? Girl, it's not even maturity. That's a whole nother word besides maturity. When you say, I'm willing to step back and let him build a relationship with her as they get to know each other. Ooh, honey. Just like these women did. These two women on the screen said they are courting a third wife, and they went and put together a picnic spread for the third wife. Girl, that's the coming togetherness I'm trying to see with the sisters with this beautiful natural hair. How can you be mad at them? Y'all, we gonna be all right out here. I think we gonna be all right. I think we gonna be all right out here, y'all. So anyway, thanks y'all. Thank y'all for listening, and thanks to those that really were looking for a community or a conversation that would kind of push them in a direction to be more authentic with who they are. If you want to just be around me and women that think like this, we're having a Womb School Sister Circle call Monday 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we can talk about everything: life, health, talk about healing fibroids, dissolving fibroids, losing weight, all the type of health concerns you have, because the Womb School is about that. We need to become healers again, Black women in our homes. When we have the common cold, everything from colds, flus, and then we get hysterectomies and our wombs yanked out, clearly we don't know how to heal ourselves and become the healers again in our homes. So that's for you to return yourself as a healer and healing our minds on a spiritual level. We have the curriculum with ARC with Chief Montana. So this spiritual and African-centered spiritual curriculum we have, as well as the sisterhood, that'll help you with whatever projects and wealth-based projects so that we can sustain ourselves and be a cooperative economic village with Ujamaa, with the principles of Ujamaa and Ujima at the head: collective responsibility and collective and cooperative economics. Okay, so that is what the Womb School stands for. That is what we're about. That is confidence for sure. When you can go and help your husband court another woman and set out a picnic spread for her. I'm impressed. I'm absolutely impressed with this show of Sister Wives. If y'all want to watch it, it's kind of a hot mess. I can't look away because some of them other couples on the show are just a whole fool, girl. But these, I think they're healthy. I think they're realistic. And again, even though it's not my lifestyle, I appreciate seeing a lifestyle with the Black man and all of this heteronormativity, all of this Black masculinity, and all of these babies and juicy pregnancies, procreation energy popping. Absolutely. I'm here for it because I know that the dominant society didn't want this to be the case for the Black man. They had to mess up our sexuality, our spirituality, and our socialization. Those are the three things they had to make sure that they made unhealthy and toxic, because that's the key to everything. That's the key to the dynasties. That's the key to coming up out of the mud and really, really overthrowing your oppressor, is when you start practicing things the way your ancestors practiced, and you go to Sankofa and you reach back and you bring that into today. That's when you can defeat your oppressor, and that's when you can reverse the system's effect on you and your family. And that's what I know. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for supporting this message. It's going to take a lot more women that are unafraid like this to speak like this and to speak life into other women. We are so much more than checking our man's phone. We are so much more than jealousy. We are so much more when we see the beauty in each other and congratulate each other and seeing that, hey, you know what? This is a single sister, but she has the need for a man in her life. I'm going to make sure that she's taken care of. When you want for you the same things that you want for your sister, that's when we have really began to rise. Can the sisters rise? Because I want the same thing for me as I want for you. I want the same thing for you as I want for myself. That's just the way it goes. And if I got it, you got it. Where are those type of sisters? Because I swear sometimes I feel like I'm the only one. I promise you, whatever I got for me and mine, and you, my sister, I got you too. I'm not that sister that's gonna say, oh, ha, flashing a ring in your face, flashing my relationship in your face. How can me and my man be of service to you? Oh my God. Who else be thinking like that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is just, maybe, you know what, Africa is perfect. It is perfect because y'all gonna see some really interesting stuff from me over the next few years. I know that much, because as we start to dig into this conversation, it's gonna be a lot more people that you see show their heads and come up and be able to live this type of village mentality. All of us ain't out here fussing and fighting, y'all. We not. It's some of us out here cooperatively working together. I always tell people, me and all my exes still can work together. Do you understand me? I don't care, ring or not, baby. This cat here brings men together. We still work. Me, baby daddy, exes, and everything else. How you, your current, your baby daddies and exes, why y'all can't work together? That's just not my story, honey. If you cheat on me, I'm the type of woman where if you cheat on me, I'll be mad. If you have one of them woman-to-woman women calling my phone, cheat on me with a woman that's cool and down to cooperate and build. That's always been my thing. It's about cooperation and building. When you get that emotionalism out of your head and jealousy out of your head, you can think clearly and you can really see with loving eyes of another sister that's just like you, that want the same things as you. Oh my God, am I crazy? Is it? I think it's just me. Maybe I'm like the only one. You see another sister that's just like you, want the same things as you. I mean, we really beautiful when we look at each other like that. And I don't know. All of that other stuff comes down. What these two women got on the screen, they really got some real sisterhood here. And I admire that. I see it. And I know that it's available and real for us, y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that joined. And go join the womb school, or you can send me a message, artcathy@gmail. And I really, really, really was encouraged by watching this show and these two Black women. So, all right. I appreciate you, Seeking Self, and everybody that joined here. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great evening.